What's the most insane coincidence you've experienced? I had a very close friend in elementary/intermediate school named Evan. We hung out a lot, made a lot of jokes, teased girls, and played video games. But our favorite activity was watching episodes of The Simpsons while Evan's mom made us some seriously awesome snacks. One day in winter, near the beginning of the winter/spring semester, his parents decided that they were going to upend their roots and leave to care for their ailing grandparents, who were still in Venezuela. We didn't have much time to hang out, but one of the last things we did together was watch the Simpsons episode where Bart is accused of fraud in Australia. We laughed and had a good time. Chazwazzers, a fake Aussie neologism that gets coined in the episode, became a favorite pseudo-swear word of ours. We said it incessantly for the last few days, and it got imprinted on me enough that it became a permanent part of my vocabulary. Evan and I wrote to each other occasionally after that, but eventually we grew apart. About 2 years after he moved, we stopped writing to each other. We both discovered that girls were actually pretty awesome, and started dating them. Keeping in touch fell by the wayside. 10 years later, I had graduated college and was in the workforce doing some software work for a startup. I drove up with my girlfriend and 2 college buddies to meet my family in upstate New York for a much-needed summer vacation. As we're driving up I-95 along the mid-Atlantic states, I see a car pull over to the side of the road with steam and water spraying out of the hood. Since we're having a good time, I figure it won't detract much from our route if we stop to help this guy for a second. I pull over behind the car and walk up to the driver, who's obviously exasperated and dialing a tow truck. Chazwazzers, I hear him mutter as he surveys the damage. You know how sometimes your brain struggles to wrap its head around an observation, to make sense of what it's seeing? At that moment, it was like a gigantic crowbar had been jammed in the works of my mind. For a full 3 seconds I lost all the capability of conscious thought. What came out of my mouth was, no. Fucking way. I hesitated for a second before adding, Evan? It was him. We spent hours at the nearest rest stop, exchanging stories, and we never made it up to New York that day. My friends weren't very thrilled about missing a day of great weather for some random dude they didn't know, but I didn't care. For a brief few hours, it was like we were kids again, making pillow forts or arguing about which Mortal Kombat character was the best. It was easily the greatest afternoon of my life. Next summer, I'll be the best man at Evan's wedding. Miss you, buddy.